How you doing, everyone? Man, that's got to be the worst intro ever. Alright, so this is actually the third time that I've tried to make this video, and truth be told, I can't do any more research. I can't keep trying to film this video, and it just, every time I do it, it doesn't want to come right. The words don't seem to be conveying out. So I've decided just to go ahead and film it this one last time, and then however it comes out, and I'm gonna try and be as factual as possible, but I'm not gonna go into extreme details, only because, again, like I said, it's 3 times trying to film this thing, and it doesn't come out. So I need to get better at doing that. But in any case, here it goes. So finally, the Coyote versus Roadrunner engine. And so what I've discovered, or what I know, is that both engines, or I should say the Roadrunner engine, the Boss engine, is basically a iteration of the Coyote motor. When the Boss program came to light, or when Ford decided that they wanted to do a Boss program, the engineers or the program manager basically said, I want to do something special for the Boss. I want to give it more power. I want it to rev higher, right? So what did they do? They took a long block Coyote motor, and it was just the shell. So it was just the block and the heads. So between the two motors, the block and the heads are exactly the same. And I want to specify that by saying that they're the same casting. So how the Coyote motors, block and heads were, made, they're the same on the Boss Roadrunner engine. So what's different? It's easy to kind of explain what's different, and I'm gonna talk about it from the Roadrunner perspective, and then kind of touch on the Coyote. So on the Roadrunner, the crank shaft, the pistons, the main bearings, and the rods, they are all beefed up. So the crankshaft, the rods, and the pistons are all aluminum forged. It is a completely forged bottom end. Now, what's different on the Roadrunner than the Coyote? Well, the Coyote has a forged crankshaft. Okay, that's the same, but that's where it stops. The rods are, and we're talking about the materials here, how they are produced. The material the material compound that makes up the rods and the pistons are different. So for the rods, it's some sort of like powder casting or something or other, but they're not forged. They're still beefy enough to hold some power, but they're not forged. And then the pistons are not forged either. They're called and I can never say it right, the hyper-aerotic casting, whatever that means. So the difference between having it forged on the Roadrunner than the Coyote is that the Coyote red lines at 6,500. The Roadrunner red lines at 7,500. To help out with the red line even at 6,500 on the Coyote, they had to introduce oil squirters inside the block to, I guess, maintain the the slickness inside, while all the components in there is continuously putting in work at higher RPMs. For the Roadrunner, they decided to remove those because, one, they did not want the I guess what they called it was high velocity air to be introduced when the Roadrunner got into those high RPMs, so they removed them and then put in aluminum forged pistons. Now, moving on to the top end. The heads, the casting are exactly the same. What changes? Well, on the Roadrunner, the cams are beefier. The lift on the cams is greater. The lifters are a little bit beefier. The valves, the springs, and I believe that's it when it comes to that area. Again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an engine builder, so I'm only recollecting what I have done in research. So the top end valve train is completely beefed up by comparison to the Coyote. Again, why? To be able to support a higher end red line. Again, 7,500 for the Roadrunner, 6,500 for the Coyote motor. Now, along with that, they said, okay, our heads flow good. However, we could make them better. So what they did was that they CNC ported the heads for the Roadrunner, thus again increasing airflow. What they also decided to do was give it a new intake. So with the Boss intake, it has longer runners than the stock Coyote motor intake. And again, what that does in combination with the valve train and the CNC port on the heads, it allows the Roadrunner engine to redline at 7,500 RPMs. It was made specific purely for the track purposes, because they wanted the owners, oh, that's awful glare. They wanted the track performance to be in, oh man, the glare. Let me see if this helps. Yeah, we'll go to this. Sorry about that. They wanted to have a track performing car. So intake, bigger cams, better valve train, CNC port on the heads. Now you have a badass motor. A lot of people have, again, the common misconception that the Roadrunner engine is just a Coyote motor with an intake. That is only true to a degree, and the degree is such minor that I can't even kind of validate that it's true. True in the fact that the casting for the block and the heads are the same. Everything else, completely, separate and different. Also, the like the drive accessory, I think they're about the same, if not the same. So they're interchangeable, but other than that, the motor was built with the emphasis of allowing the Boss car to redline at a higher RPM. So, other than that, the chassis, and everything else on the motor is about, the same. I don't think I could go into, and this is going to lead me to my ending, I don't think I could go into any more, I could go into more details, but for the purposes of keeping this video short, I'm just going to call this a general background on the two motors. I would describe this as a very, very basic general background on the motor. While it did start its life as a Coyote because of the block and the heads, the two engines are far from being the same. The stock Coyote motor, I think, can handle up to about 750, 800 horsepower before you need to start rebuilding the bottom end. On a Boss Roadrunner engine, I believe you can go up to 900, if not 950 horsepower before you have to start doing anything to the engine itself. So other than that, I don't think I can go ahead and provide any more information without making this video already longer than what it is. I'm sorry about the glare. I'm on my way to do a little business transaction, and I have a little bit of money on the side. Next video, mods. I did a couple of mods to the boss. They're minor. I will tell you that they're minor. But I wanted to tell you why I did those mods and where I'm taking the boss. I also want to go ahead and make another video about sponsorship, and kind of coupled along with that video about, I'm going to talk about not giving up on what you want to do. If you have an idea, you should pursue it, but I'm going to leave more of the details for that video. So, you know, thank you guys for the ones that are subscribed to, you know, my small channel, for even watching this video. You know, I know I said I was gonna make this video a little while ago, but again, you know, school has been kicking my ass. I've been, you know, tired with homework. I've been dealing with, you know, stuff after the hurricane, and I need to just go ahead and get my life together before I decide to go ahead and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna do more videos more often. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. You know, thank you guys for watching. You know, leave me a like. Don't leave me a like. You know, again, I just do this for fun. In any case, have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.